Today we're taking a look at these NHL matches, which are happening on Friday, December 16, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. Also, check out our perks and join the High Stakes membership. Joining the High Stakes membership is easy, is cheap, but it will help a lot in the growth process of this channel. Plus, if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. By becoming a member of the High Stakes Patreon, you will have access to our best team picks, total picks, parlay picks and much more. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting predictions that ends up costing you a lot of time and money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comments section below. And make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Troy vs UTSA. The number 24 Troy Trojans entered the bowl enjoying a remarkable 10-game winning streak. Troy's only defeats were against strong foes, losing to Ole Miss in the season opener and losing their conference opener in a narrow 32-28 decision against Appalachian State. The Trojans have not lost since that game, propelled by stifling defense. Troy was labeled as a 6.5-point favorite in a dominating 45-26 win against Coastal Carolina in the Sun Belt Final. They have covered the spread in 3 consecutive games. Gunnar Watson doesn't post huge numbers on a team that prefers to run, but is solid. The junior QB has eclipsed 300 passing yards 4 times this season and has accumulated 2705 passing yards and a 1310 TD to INT ratio. Troy has an outstanding running back in Kimani Vidal. The sophomore RB was especially sharp late in the season, rushing for over 200 yards in 2 out of his last 3 games and has accumulated 1059 rushing yards on 5.1 yards per carry. The receiving core has 3 players with over 400 yards, led by Tez Johnson. The sophomore WR had 59 receiving yards in the championship game and has recorded 823 yards on the year. The Troy offense was at its best in the last month of the season, eclipsing 30 points in 3 straight games. The Roadrunners were marked as an 8-point favorite in a convincing 48-27 victory against North Texas in the CUSA championship game. They have covered the spread in 4 out of their last 5 games. Frank Harris is one of the best QBs of any mid-major squad. The senior QB has reached the 300 yards mark on 7 occasions this season, including 337 yards against Houston and 341 yards against North Texas in the final game. Harris has collected 3895 passing yards and a dazzling 31.7 TD to INT ratio. UTSA also likes to run. They have a few potent RBs led by Brendan Brady and Kavorian Barnes. Brady has 699 rushing yards, while Barnes was the star in the win against North Texas. The freshman RB amassed 175 yards in the championship and has logged 713 rushing yards on 6.3 yards per carry. Zachary Franklin will be a key to this game. The senior WR has surpassed 100 receiving yards in 4 games this year and has recorded a remarkable 1100 receiving yards. The UTSA offense has scored at least 40 points in 4 out of their last 5 clashes. The Texas San Antonio Roadrunners did not lose a single conference game and have won 10 games in a row. They have a veteran squad that played in a bowl game last year, led by QB Frank Harris. UTSA has the best defense of any mid-major squad and no one was able to contain them. They even posted a remarkable 410 total yards against the number 20 Texas Longhorns. Frank Harris has propelled UTSA to an average of 308 passing yards per game. Troy relies on defense to win games, but its pass defense can be solved, ranking 38th in the FBS in pass defense. Furthermore, the Trojans do not have the offense to keep up with the Roadrunners. They rank 69th in the FBS in EPA expected points added game and were limited to 19 or fewer points on 5 occasions this season. The Roadrunners' defense isn't great, but had 3 games go to OT. UTSA is ranked 26th in the entire FBS with a plus 3.77 EPA margin, while Troy is 45th with a 1.53 EPA margin. The Trojans' defense is definitely their top strength. They easily contained their foes in conference play and only allowed more than 19 points 3 times all season, one of which was against Ole Miss of the SEC. The pass defense is 38th, while the rush defense is even better, marking 22nd. Troy is scoring an average of 26.2 points, ranking them 80th. They are limiting opponents to only 17.5 points, good for 8th in the FBS. The Roadrunners' defense isn't as strong as the offense. They often relied on the offense to win games and allowed at least 30 points in 3 of their 8 conference games. The pass defense can be solved, ranking 101st while the rush defense is 70th. The unit has made 13 interceptions in 13 games. UTSA is averaging 38.7 points on the season, landing them 13th in the country. They are conceding an average of 26.5 points, placing them 65th. The Roadrunners have been running over teams all season. They average the 11th most point per game in the country, 37.6, which is in large part due to their top 5 third down conversion rate, 51.81%. Their air attack is hard to stop, with a top 5 completion percentage, 69.09%, and these aren't all easy passes, as they rank in the top 20 in yards per pass, 8.4. The defense is a tad bit slower, ranked 87th in opponents' yards per play at 5.7, but they make good red zone stands, holding opposing teams to a 78.38% conversion rate, top 25 in the nation. The Trojans have been shutting teams down this year, allowing the 7th least points per game of any team, 17.6. Opponents average 4.6 yards per play against them, ranked 8th. They're top 20 in opponents' yards per rush, 3.4, and in the top 10 in yards per pass, 6.1. Their offense lags behind, averaging 5.4 yards per play, ranked 62nd, and they struggle to convert on third down, 34.00%, ranked 105th. They make up some of that lost value on fourth down, where they're a top 10 squad converting on 71.43% of their attempts. The Troy Trojans finished the year at 11-2, representing the Sun Belt as conference champions, with a 45-26 win over Coastal Carolina in the conference championship game last time out. Gunnar Watson has thrown for 2,705 yards, 13 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, on 61.9% passing, while DK Billingsley and Kamani Vidal have combined for 1,715 rushing yards and 17 touchdowns this season. Tez Johnson has a team-high 823 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns, while Rahi Johnson has 672 receiving yards with 6 touchdowns, and Deshaun Stoudemire has 491 receiving yards as well this season. On defense, Carlton Marshall has a team-high 121 total tackles, while TJ Jackson has a team-high 8 sacks, and Richard Jibuner has 6 sacks this season. These two teams scored a combined 93 points in their conference championship games. UTSA is in the top 20 in points per play, 0.483, and while Troy isn't quite as great, they're at a respectable 0.378, ranked 70th. While I said the Trojans might struggle to get into the end zone, they're top 20 in field goal conversion rate, 88.24%. The total has gone over in 8 of the Roadrunners' 13 games this season, and the last 8 bowl games for Troy. These two teams have cleaned up their offensive execution in their most recent games, and it should be on display in the Duluth Trading Cure Bowl. Take the over.